So look, we know you love your Mustang Dark Horse. You're a big fan of all of its performance potential and all of its track credibility, and you'd really love to have a Mustang GTD, but guess what? You can't. I'm sorry. They cost nearly 5 to 6 times as much as a loaded Dark Horse, and they're pretty much unavailable. It's really hard to actually buy one. So where do you go from up? Well, Ford has an answer for you, and it's in the form of the 2026 Ford Mustang Dark Horse SC. What's SC stand for? Supercharged. So what makes the Dark Horse SC different from a normal Dark Horse? Well, there's actually quite a number of changes, and the first one, the biggest one, is probably the powertrain. No more 5-liter V8 under hood. Now you've got a supercharged 5.2-liter V8 that we're told is very similar to the one in the GTD, but not exactly the same. We don't have any power or torque numbers just yet. Those are going to be coming closer to when the vehicle goes on sale. It's mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, so that's different than the Dark Horse, which gets a 10-speed automatic, and it's not quite the same as the GTD, which gets the 8-speed dual clutch that's mounted on the rear. You also get some suspension changes as well. This also has the MagneRide dampers, but they have a special tune to them that makes it different from the normal Dark Horse. And if you get the track pack, which is optional on the Dark Horse SC, you get a number of other changes, such as different suspension calibration, different MagneRide calibration. You also have a number of different changes to the aerodynamics from a normal Dark Horse. And that's got to do with cooling. There are a number of aerodynamic changes to the front end of the Dark Horse SC, and it all has to do with flow. There's a lot more airflow allowed on the front end of the SC. You can see that the design is actually quite different, with much larger openings for things like the coolers that you'll see inside. You've also got a different hood. This one has its rain guard in place, but if you don't need the rain guard, maybe you know it's going to be completely dry, you could take that out and you get an increased flow through as well without creating a lot of lift on the hood, because downforce is what this thing is really all about. Not just the aerodynamics in the front, but you've also got the ducktail in the back, and you've got a unique spoiler that's part of the track package as well. Check out this spoiler. This thing is incredible. Not as crazy as the GTD spoiler, but still generates plenty of downforce in the back. This is part of the track package. Another thing that's part of the track package are the brakes on this car. You get some standard brakes on the Dark Horse SC, which are pretty extraordinary, but when you opt for the track pack, you get standard carbon ceramic brakes. 6-piston up front, 4-piston in the rear, Brembo brakes, and you also can choose a couple of different colors. Now this one has the teal package. Well, Ford calls it teal. To me, this is more aqua, maybe mint green, but they're calling it teal. But it enables you to get some very interestingly colored accents both on the outside of the car and inside. The inside of the Dark Horse SC is fairly similar to other Dark Horses and other Mustangs, although it does have some really nicely elevated materials. Now, you've also got these beautiful Recaro seats covered in leather and Dynamica material. This is actually meant to evoke a checkered flag pattern, and you've also got the continuation of the teal accents inside as well. You can also get space gray accents as well, but check out the teal seat belts. You can get these in a number of different colors, but this is just really quite unique. You've got some interesting stuff up front as well. In the track pack models and the special edition as well, which is even more exclusive than the track pack, you can get some titanium 3D printed paddle shifters and gear selector knob that are straight out of the Mustang GTD. So they are bringing a lot of the GTD styling and GTD details down into the Dark Horse, hopefully for considerably less money. If you like the idea of the Dark Horse SC, but you want something even more expensive and exclusive, well, they've got the special edition, which will only be available for the 2026 model year. It's got some cosmetic exclusive bits and baubles, like the unique graphics on the top. You've got a black painted roof, and it can only be had in either black or white exterior paint as well. You've got also the option of a unique interior with solar red Recaro seats and the aforementioned titanium 3D printed bits and baubles, which are the paddle shifters and the shift knob. But frankly, I think this one just might be the meanest, best looking one out of the entire lot. And those are just the things that you can see on the new Dark Horse SC. There's a bunch of changes that they've made that are under the hood and under the body that you can't see. Like there's a magnesium strut tower brace. There's a carbon fiber drive shaft connecting the engine to the rear axle. The rear axle gets its own differential cooler as well. So they've really made a number of mechanical changes to make this thing probably one of the most ambitiously quick Mustangs that they've ever made. Now, we don't know how much it's going to cost, so you can load up a regular Dark Horse to nearly 80 grand, and the GTD starts at around $330,000, so it could be anywhere in between there, but I'm probably going to guess it's closer to about $100,000 when this thing finally does go on sale. That is going to be in March of 2026, with deliveries to follow in summer of 2026. Now, who is this thing for? Well, honestly, if you were a fan of the old Dodge Challenger Hellcat and its screaming supercharged V8 engine, well, rest in peace, Challenger Hellcat. It gave up the fight before its main competitor even really got here, apparently. But I think that if you miss that vehicle, you're going to really like what Ford's cooked up with the new Dark Horse SC. If you'd like to learn more about the new 2026 Ford Mustang, Dark Horse, SC, or any of the new Dark Horse lineup, you can look it all up at Cars.com/news.